Time. For those of you who are subscribers, you may have noticed that I took a video down that I did within the last 24 hours. The reason is because a fair amount has happened in the last 24 hours that no longer makes the information accurate. A little backstory for those of you who are not familiar with what happened. So I ordered the black Google Pixel XL in, well, black, for the sole reason that the thing was going to be compatible with Google Daydream. Okay. Well, here's the thing. I did some further research, so I go ahead and order the Daydream View headset. Read some reviews that talk about the phone overheating after like 15, 20 minutes. Well, some of the things that I wanted to try with VR, particularly the yoga class, would have been about an hour. So that's given that it overheats after 15 to 20 minutes, to me that's too dangerous. Didn't want to risk it. So I was thinking, okay, let's Google this, see what's going on. Are these people blowing smoke? They weren't blowing smoke. Apparently it's a very real problem, and apparently Samsung was having the same problem too. It basically comes down to a design flaw, I think, in the VR headset and possibly the software, in that the processors that are in these things, the Snapdragon 821, is the bare minimum that will run a quality VR experience. Unfortunately, in order to do so, those processors have to be pushed quite literally to the limit and not let up for any period of time until you're done with the VR experience. Okay, so given this, as somebody who has moderate vision loss, I cannot be without a phone. Okay? And one person had described the problem to be so severe that the battery was overheated, which shortened its capacity. It didn't blow up or anything, but it did shorten its capacity. And somebody ended up with purple splotches on their screen. Again, that's a no-go for me. I cannot risk it. And because black was the sole reason that I got the Daydream VR was the sole reason I got the black one, I decided, you know what? I'm going to do an about face. At the time of this video, tomorrow morning, I'm going to go in. I've got the confirmation paperwork, and I'm going to switch it over from a black one to a silver one. The phone's already not supposed to be here until the end of March, so what's an extra week, you know? I realize I may seem a little tense. I'm just kicking myself for not having read more about it sooner. Obviously, with my studies, I don't necessarily have time to keep up with the information as much as I'd like to, but this information had been out since November, and I'm kicking myself for having missed it. I just cannot risk to be without a phone. So we swapped it over for the silver. So I'm going to swap it over for the silver. Here's the deal. What is the problem? The phone itself is the powerhouse. The phone itself is the main purveyor of the information. The Google Daydream View is just a shell through which that information can be conveyed. Take a look. So here's the Daydream View. Problem. Do you see any ventilation? I don't. The device is made of fabric. It's meant to be more comfortable. The problem is, more than one person has said that it does heat up extremely quickly. Again, that's just not something I'm willing to risk. And as I did some more digging, I came to the conclusion that a VR experience is the equivalent of one of those GTX 1080 compatible games that really push your graphics card to the limit and would require like water cooling. Okay, maybe it's not that intense. Obviously, it depends on the app, but you get what I'm saying. It's up there, which is a shame because I had and still have a lot of hope for the platform. If they could come up with a headset that is, you know, if they could come up with a headset that is able to help with the cooling in a proficient manner. Now, a lot of people are going to say, well, you could just use a cooling fan or aluminum foil or ice packs. If you have to modify something just to get it to work without destroying your phone, I realize this is a Gen 1 product, But I think that if you're really pushing this, then you need to do a better job, Google. I'm sorry, I really am, because you have developed what is in on paper a fantastic device. The Google Pixel XL as a phone, mwah, top notch. But one of its main attractions, the VR in this case, good on paper, but I think we need to iron out the bugs. There are a lot of other great things about the Google Pixel, though. Oh, one thing. The case, I did order a case for it. It is the, oh shoot, what do they call it? The Cassini? I think it's Cassini. Let me see. Let me zoom in. Yep. The Cassini dual layer protection. I'm sorry, I can't memorize that name to save my life. It's a Cassini protection dual layer case. So the case is on its way. It'll be here tomorrow. The phone won't be here for a good while, but I don't think I'm going to be necessarily trying VR with it right away. Will I in the future? I don't know. I'd love to. But until they can get that heat issue sorted, it's too dangerous. For me anyway, it's too dangerous. Because again, I cannot be without a phone. For a lot of people, the phone is their way to catch up with news, social media, etc. For me, it's that and more. The more is, I'm going to have a piece of software on there that allows me to read printed material through speech in large print with high contrast fonts. I'm going to have a piece of software that allows me to magnify my menu in a restaurant, okay? Those are technologies that I really cannot be without. The Google Assistant is going to be another wonderful piece of assistive technology. If I'm in an unfamiliar place and I can't, let's say I'm at a hotel and I can't remember where my hotel room is, well, with somebody guiding me, I could talk to Google and say, off the elevator, go left, then right, third door down the hall on the left. Google can memorize that, and I can go ahead and say, hey, Google, how do I get back to my hotel room? And Google could tell me how to get back to my hotel room. That is the sort of thing that I think could be a real boon for people with vision loss in unfamiliar environments, kind of like a breadcrumbs sort of thing, indoors, because GPS doesn't really work indoors. And I'm really looking forward to the integration with Google services because I utilize Google services far more than any other. Microsoft, Apple, especially Apple, I use Google every single day. For instance, today, I couldn't ask Alexa, cancel. Sorry, my tap got activated. I couldn't ask her for wind speed, but I could ask Google for wind speed without necessarily having to entertain a full weather report. So there are a lot of great reasons to go for the Pixel, even if you're not going to use the Daydream VR. And I'm just kicking myself for not having found this out sooner. Let's put it this way. I ordered the headset from a third-party provider. Had they not been able to cancel the order right there and then, I would have been stuck with it because there was no returns on this. Okay? Ugh. But yeah, so what's going to happen is we're going to try to swap it out for a silver one. The Verizon rep told me they couldn't necessarily cancel the black one, but that's fine because these things are so hard to get. I'm sure somebody will be happy to have at least something in stock. So in a way, I think I'm doing a good thing for them. But yeah, so something is coming. New phone. But Daydream VR needs work. And again, it's nothing to do with the software. If they could get a system together where it could dissipate the heat without adding much bulk or having to drive up the cost too much, that's where you'll have a killer product. But for now, go back to the drawing board. I'm sorry. But I will be getting a new phone. Very excited. What are your thoughts? Thank you for watching. Comments are welcome and have a nice day.